Hey Simlies, it's Deligracy here, and welcome to another speed build video. Today's speed build is inspired by one of my personal favorite things, ice cream. That's right, I am lactose intolerant. Some of you guys know that, which is very sad because it means I don't eat ice cream. I eat gelati instead, so that's okay. But, you know, that doesn't stop me from being inspired by the colors and flavors of ice cream. So today's build is actually based on Neapolitan ice cream, which, if you guys don't know, is, I guess, a mix of strawberry, chocolate, and vanilla flavors. So when you open the packet, usually there's 3 bold strips of color of ice cream. So I wanted that to be inspiration for these 3 tiny homes, and these tiny homes are actually inspired by the little houses in Despicable Me next to the main character Gru's house. There's just like really cute little terrace homes next to his super dark, enormous home. So yeah, I just thought they were really cute, and you know, you could have three Sims in one household that live in these 3 different little houses, and you could play them as neighbors, and I just thought they were really sweet. Did you get the pun? Sweet? Dolls. Anyway, so of course the first one is strawberry flavor, the second one is vanilla, and the last one is chocolate. I have to say, Despicable Me is one of my favorite films. I absolutely adored the first one. I loved the character of Gru, and the 3 little girls were so cute. But I have to say, I really was disappointed by the second film. I thought, well, at least I hoped it was going to be one of the few films that had a sequel just as good as the first, but it really didn't. Well, actually, you know what? It's up to personal interpretation, but I personally did not like the second one. I'm curious to see what you guys thought of it, because it surprises me how many people actually do like sequels to a lot of films. It's kind of like the Hunger Games. I loved the first book, and then when I read the second and third books, I was really disappointed by them, and I actually never finished the third book. That's how much I disliked it. So I don't know if I have really high expectations. I don't know, but yeah, just wasn't my cup of tea. Loved the first ones though. The only thing that's had sequels that I can think of from the top of my head that I've adored just as much as the first is Harry Potter. The entire series was amazing. And Twilight series was pretty good actually. Twilight did a good job at being just as good. What else? Oh, Father of the Bride movies 1 and 2, just as good as the first. The second film was. And also, yeah, that's about it that I can think of from here. Oh, Toy Story 3 was pretty awesome. That was a good third film. But yeah, also you guys should be happy to hear, because I know a lot of you guys are always saying, Deli, please do builds, which is base game items. These are base game and 1 stuff pack. Okay, so I've done base game and the backyard stuff pack for this. Meaning that if you have base game, you can get pretty much everything in here except for the white picket fences and maybe the bushes that are out the front of the pink house. But if you have the backyard stuff pack, you can download it and it should be exactly the same, unless sometimes an item or 2 sneak in that aren't base game, which is annoying, but it always happens because the filters turn off so easily in build and buy mode. You have to keep switching them on, and it's so easy to not realize that they've quickly been turned off. So yeah, of course the interiors of each little tiny home are going to be inspired by the same color. Like, it's very, very matchy. The pink one's very pink, the vanilla is very vanilla, and the brown one's very brown. I think I like the pink one best just because it's so cute. And probably if I had to live in one, I'd live in the vanilla because it's the easiest to add color to. And the pink would drive me crazy, no doubt. But they've all got the same floor plan, just with slightly different furnishings. The bed placement is the same and kitchen placement is the same in each though. And you know what? If we ever got a Sims 4 university type of expansion, which I wouldn't be surprised if we eventually did, because obviously for Sims 2 and Sims 3, we had university expansions. This would be a cool little like student accommodation house, I think that would be really fun. Imagine if you went to uni and you had, or college, whatever you guys call it, in the many different countries we are all from. Imagine if you just like went to uni and then you got this tiny little house and then you got to live next door to your friends who had matching tiny houses. That'd be the cutest thing ever. Oh, and you could just have tiny, tiny fun times. Tiny, tiny everything. Speaking of which, have you guys ever had those tiny cooking packs where you can buy them on eBay and they're like mini hot dogs and mini sushis, like super tiny, tiny ones? I think they're made in Japan because the packaging usually doesn't have any English on it. But they're really fun to make. You like make mini fries and mini burgers. What is it about tiny things that make you love it? Tiny things are so endearing. And then massive oversized things I love too. Like oversized, who was it? Shane Dawson made a video of an oversized Kit Kat, making a giant Kit Kat. And I loved watching that. I was just like, this is so epic. And it looked so good. We just love things out of the ordinary, perhaps. Perhaps that's why. The bathroom was a little bit tight, a bit of a tight squeeze. And in the end, it works quite well because we have a nice inset wall to place the fridge in, which works quite nicely in the kitchens. And you have just enough things in the kitchen to create food with. And because there is a basin in the bathroom, we didn't need a basin in the kitchen. Obviously, you could move the wall next to that bench top just across by one, so you could add in a sink and an extra bench top. But I just wanted to keep them like super, super tiny and compact, with like just the necessities, the bare necessities. So this is pretty much the pink one finishing up. I was trying to figure out where should the dining table go. Each house has a slightly different way of placing all of the furniture. So this one, we're actually going to place a little TV on this table here in the corner, so you can sit on the couch and look at that. I'm actually going to change the couch to 2 armchairs just because I thought it would just suit the room a little bit better and make it less, blocky, having a 2-seater couch against the 2 wide bed. It's just nice to add a bit of angles in. So we put in a couple of chairs to watch the TV. There you go. You can't snuggle on each armchair, but you can still have good banter. So there you go. And you get a nice lamp as well. And yeah, it's sometimes really nice just using the base game stuff. It takes me back to when there were no expansions or game packs released. I have to say, it was so weird not having game packs or expansions because I believe every time I have bought a Sims base game in the past, there has always been something released at the time of me purchasing it. So when The Sims 4 came out and there was nothing out yet until Outdoor Retreat came a few months later, it was bizarre just having base game items. It was so weird because The Sims 1 I got into when a few things had been released. And then Sims 2, I don't think I was able to buy The Sims 2 or afford The Sims 2 until after a couple of packs came out. So yeah, interesting. And the same with Sims 3, I think. I think it was just the same thing again. Like I had to wait to save up for it, and then by then a couple of packs had already come out. Good English. So yeah, that's good. Putting in a couple of screens where the beds are. I often forget to use screens in The Sims 4, and they're a really handy base game item. So it just sections off the bedroom nicely. We could have added a door to the bedroom to fully shut it off, but I liked the more open plan living. And, you can replace the double bed with a single bed to have a bit more room in there, which is handy. You could probably fit a desk in as well if you just had a single bed. And I thought it was nice to have a bit of shelving in the kitchens as well, just to add a little bit more of that realistic flavor to the build. When you start adding shelves in there, you can add clutter to them and it just looks a bit more like someone's actually living there. And this is the only little house or tiny house that actually has bricks behind the kitchen area. And this, I just decided that wallpaper, although it looked really chocolatey, was just, ugh. So we're lightening it up a bit. And I wanted to have a lot of white accents in the chocolate part of the build because it just was looking really ugly. So that allowed it to look a little bit more fresh, I suppose, less dark. And yeah, it looks quite nice. We're going to change that fridge to white as well soon. And we also decided to brighten up the bathroom because it was looking pretty old, which is fine. But I thought for these little houses, I wanted them to be more cute and attractive as opposed to dark, dingy, and ugly. Yes. By the way, speaking of frustrations, even though we really weren't, I need to have a moment of ranting. Okay, so I went to a place today to try and get a vitamin D injection because I've been very tired recently and I've been vitamin D deficient before. And last time I got a vitamin D injection, which was quite a few years ago, I felt amazing afterwards. So I called up this place I'd never been to and asked if I needed a blood test before getting a vitamin D injection. And they said, hold on one sec, I'll just ask someone. And then the receptionist came back to the phone and said, yep, you can come straight in. You don't need to get a blood test. So I went in. I was the first appointment of the day this morning. I waited 45 minutes as the first appointment because the doctor just rocked up late to work. Okay. They got my name wrong at the desk, like completely wrong. So wrong when I went in, they had no idea who I was and it took them ages to figure out that I did actually have a booking. And then I went in and the doctor said, yep, sorry, you're going to need a blood test. I can't give you a referral for a blood test, so I can't give you an injection. And I was like, wow. So this was a complete waste of my time. And oh my God, I just had to tell you guys because the frustration was real. Oh, it was so bad. And the worst thing was the doctor didn't apologize and I dropped my license. So now I have to go drive back there to get it. I tell you what, girls and boys, it was a tough morning. Frustrating. Anyways, now looking at these houses, I feel happy again because it's always nice to do a nice little build after a frustrating morning. So there we go. There's a little pink house. So cute. So quaint. And yeah, it's got everything a sim needs. I remembered the fridge, so that's a good thing. And there's already a sim here just chilling out in a tracky dax. And it's nice that the walls are high. It's got high ceilings, like mid ceilings, so that's good. Little bathroom area. The pink toilet's probably one of my favorite swatches in the game. Love a little pink toilet for a bit of fun. This is the vanilla house, looking very fresh, very vanilla indeed. A few different angles here. Nice fruit bowl picture. Oh, it looks like we're going back to the pink house, back to the vanilla house. There's a little bit of juxtaposition so you guys can get each flavor. And does this make you feel like some chocolate? Maybe not. Makes me feel like marshmallows more than chocolate because of the white. Oh, marshmallows are great. Good time. But yeah, that's basically it. And yeah. Anyways, you guys, I hope you are having a much better start to the week than I did. And I hope you're having a lovely morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. I look forward to speaking to you guys very soon. I love you.